Hi, this is Yolanda Vanveen, and next we're going to talk about how to grow chrysanthemums. Now, chrysanthemums are a beautiful addition to your garden, and most people get them as gifts, like this is a 4th of July chrysanthemum, and then they leave them in the house and they bloom and they're so gorgeous. They leave them in too much water because there's no drainage, and then they die, and they wonder, what did I do? I killed it. Now, you've got to remember, by the time that your chrysanthemum is in bloom when you receive it as a present, a lot of times it's toward the end of its blooming cycle. So it's going to die pretty soon anyway. So you haven't killed it. It's just doing its cycle. You know, once you get it, it's blooming, then it dies. First of all, when you get a chrysanthemum or you buy it as a present, take it out of the plastic. The plastic's beautiful for the party. Once the party's over with, you want to take it out of the plastic, or even put some holes into the plastic and put it on a plate so that it can get some drainage. Because if that stays wet all the time, it's going to start rotting. So the trick with chrysanthemums is to keep them moist but not wet. So you want to make sure that they completely drain. So you can easily just take it back out of there too and just put it on a plate. And then that way it can have good drainage and you can keep track of it a little better. But you know, for the party, it's always nice to keep it in the plastic. Now, chrysanthemums are very hardy, so they will come back from year to year, even in very cold climates. So I have found that the best thing you can do is when they're done blooming and they look ratty, chop them down. So as soon as the blooms are done, chop the blooms out. And a lot of times they'll keep giving you more and more and more blooms, which is wonderful. And that way you can enjoy them for longer. Eventually they'll turn brown. Even outside, once you plant them in a sunny spot, they'll start turning brown. So whenever they're green and lush, leave them be. When they turn brown, just cut the brown out. When the whole thing looks ratty, chop it to the ground. The root is what matters, and so that is what's going to survive from year to year. So I always turn around and plant my chrysanthemums out in the ground or leave it in the pot, and then that way you can enjoy it from year to year. In the ground they're fine. Sometimes if you leave it in that pot over the winter outside, you'll lose it. So put it up against the eaves or keep it indoors and keep it dry, but not too wet and not too dry either. So there's a fine line. You got to check on them. But chrysanthemums are really tough. I have found them to survive really bad conditions, and you can revive them. A lot of times you think you've killed it, you haven't. Chop it down to the ground, put it in the ground, and it will come back. They're a great addition to your garden.